Hey everybody, it's WillBits, and we're playing Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. Episode 4, Turnabout, Storyteller. Ooh. You eating invisible noodles?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What time is it? It's 9, 10, 11.
I think I had awesome eyebrows. Uh-oh. Those eyebrows, no more. Shisho's dead. No, do you think he did it? Oh no, if he did, then what do we do? Hey, put yourself together. Don't worry, I have an idea. A Noodle-Man is dead. A Noodle-Man. The noodle world is rocked once again. Could Eldoon be returning? Or are these a whole different set of Noodle-Men? Blood in the noodles.
What the heck? Who brings a defendant to his own trial late? Plus, the request was so last minute, I didn't even have a chance to talk with my client. He's late for a very important date. We're gonna keep doing the Alice in Wonderland references. Boop boop. My name's Athena Sykes. Armed with analytical psychology and a full arsenal of legal know-how, I'm a fully competent defender of the Write Anything agency. Though I wish my client would show up already, the trial's about to start!
It appears we made it just in time.
Where have you been? The trial's about to start, Simon!
Simon? Is this a Simon? Uh-oh! You didn't get so worked up, Athena. His baldness can wait.
There's no way he'd wait for me! And besides, why would I want to start off on the wrong foot with him right out of the gate?
Dealing with such matters is part of being a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, covering for your lateness is not!
Still but a rank amateur, I see.
This is Simon Blackwell. He might not look it, but he's actually a prosecutor and a psychology specialist. He and I go way back. As for our shared specialization in psychology, we're both disciples of the same person, so to speak. But he's kind of my senior, I guess, although I'm directly related to them, so... But to his sense of humor or no, I wish he'd stop treating me like a child all the time. I don't think he's the defendant.
So we're all right, Dono, and Justice Dono.
Mr. Wright's abroad, and Apollo's helping Trucy with her magic show. Did I tell you?
Then what? So neither one of them are here? Leaving you to take this on alone?
Yep.
Ye gods. Call Right Dono back. It's not too late.
Oh no, not too late at all. He'd only need to know how to teleport.
Very well. Then I will settle for Justice Dono. Go grab him by the horns and drag him here.
Apollo is literally in the middle of a show, Simon. He's part of her act now, apparently. He's a magician. You may not want to admit it, but I've got what it takes to take on this case. Just leave this to me and go watch from the gallery.
As your defense derails in spectacular fashion?
No, as I win the heck out of this trial. I'll be okay, promise. So wipe that look off your face already, will ya? Anyway, I take it the guy behind you is...
Yes, he's your... he's asleep again. Hoy, Bucky, wake up!
Yeah! Ow! What you do there for, Simey?
What's up? Does this guy also have noodle hair? What is it with noodlemen who work in the noodle business needing noodle hair? Who's this yellow chickadee, She is your lawyer, such as it were. I'd say she's more green than yellow, however. Lawyer, She doesn't look it, does she? Is she like your fellow apprentice or something? Something like that. I've known her longer than I've known you. You could say we're bound to one another. Okay. Well, then guess I better call her Miss Chickadee, then. Whoa. Don't lose your... Why are you holding those... Why did you bring that... Are you catering the court or something?
Simon, this guy's not only rude, but he's 3 sheets to the wind at his own trial. I know we just met, but I'm about ready to give him a piece of my mind.
Do as you will, just save it for after the trial. Miss Chickadee,
Don't call me that.
how do you do? Simon here's an old friend of mine. I'm the 4th generation head chef of Wet Soba. Wet Noodle? Wet Noodle number 4, Bucky Wet. Bucky Wet? Like buckwheat? Okay. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too, Mr. Wet. So he can pull himself together when he wants to. Ugh, if only the trial wasn't starting in a few minutes.
Having been accused of a murder that only occurred yesterday, I'm afraid it's taken a toll on the poor boy.
And you happened to be there at the theater where it all happened too, right? They said they found a Rakagoo storyteller murdered in his dressing room.
Indeed. The victim, Master Storyteller Taifu Tornado, was a longtime patron of Wet Soba. Master Tornado has been looking after Bucky ever since Wet Noodle number 3 passed away.
I see. So the victim was kind of like a father to the defendant, huh?
That's stupid, old fart. Like a father? Nah, way. He was always dishing my soba. How dare you speak ill of him? Running your mouth like that is why they suspected you of his murder in the first place. Now pull yourself together. Number 3 must be rolling in his grave. But Simon... The police, none of them believes me. They won't listen to me.
Looks like he's still in shock from the whole ordeal. Don't worry, Mr. Wet. Everything's gonna be all right. I'm gonna defend you with everything I've got. You're in good hands now.
You mean you believe me, ma'am?
Of course. No matter what, I'll believe in you to the very end.
Gee whiz, Miss Chickadee.
Now come on, I need you to shape up, just like those al dente noodles of yours.
Yes, ma'am. My soba is the fresh... Having a breakdown already. I guess I'm glad he just fell over rather than barfing everywhere.
Mr. Wet!
Bucky, you great big pillock.
So, how exactly do you know this guy?
I used to frequent Wet Soba, and still do, in fact, so I've known him since he was a lad. That's why his father and Master Tornado were always so good to me.
I didn't know you liked soba so much, Simon.
I wouldn't expect one such as you, who eats meat slapped between slabs of bread, to understand the delicate taste and the subtle textures imparted by buckwheat flour.
Hey, that's just rude!
But I digress.
I'm all about flour and subtlety and tastes and things that aren't smothered in ketchup.
If I let Wet Soba end like this, I'll never be able to face number 3 or Master Tornado in the next life.
Ah, I see.
He is kind of a weeboo. Next thing you know, he's gonna pull out some Pocky and just...
And that's why you came to me. You wanted somebody you could trust.
It was never my intention to ask you. Grr!
I'll show him I can handle it just fine.
Well, I believe it's just about time.
What? But we haven't even properly discussed the case yet.
What's the matter? You look nervous, Athena. Don't tell me you're chickadeeing out.
I'm just trembling with the excitement of battle, that's all. Buckets, let's do this! Come on, Mr. Wet. Get up off the floor. We got a case to win.
Yes, Miss Chickadee. I'm gonna do my best.
Wet soba, wet soba, wet soba, wet soba, wet soba.
Hello? Hello, 2 bowls noodles, I said. No can do, kinda busy at the courthouse. Huh? They hung up. Okay, let's do this.
He's not gonna do himself or his case any favors like this, Simon. Can we sober this guy up? Can we get a cup of coffee in here? Maybe we should let him go get some rest somewhere?
Let me rest. Maybe if I were a lump of regular flour dough for udon noodles. But I'm fresh. Fresh like my soba. And you don't let soba dough rest. It's all about the 3 freshes. Grind the buckwheat seed fresh, cut the dough fresh, and boil the noodles. Oh man. What is he even talking about? He's blacked out even more than I am.
Oh boy, I just knew something like this would happen. Simon, what are the 3 freshes of soba he was talking about?
First, buckwheat seeds, or groats, are ground to make buckwheat flour. Then dough made with this flour is cut with a large rectangular knife into noodles. And finally, the buckwheat noodles are boiled. Each step is done immediately, one after the other, so that the soba is fresh when eaten.
Oh, so that's what he meant. Do we really have time to talk about that right now? Is that going to be really important? I don't want him to make me into soba right now, though. That's for sure. Rather have my soba while he's soba.
Athena, this is no time for idle chatter. You need to get into the courtroom now. Just remember, as a prosecutor, I will be unable to lend you a hand. So don't expect any help from my quarter.
There you go, treating me like I'm incompetent again. For your information, I wasn't planning on asking for your help anyway. Grr, just you wait, Simon. I'll show you! I'm a real lawyer. Mr. Wright and Apollo may not be here. But that's all right. I can do this on my own.
I don't think he's against us. I think he's just kind of here and likes this guy. I guess we'll find out if we're going up against Sadmadi again, somehow. Or if it's Blackwell on the other side. Looks like Sadmadi peeking through the corner there.
Court is now in session for the trial of Bucky Wheat. Wet? But is this the guy from the Little Rascals?
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is fully prepared, Your Honor.
What's this? No prayer this time, Prosecutor Sadmati.
That is correct, Your Honor. To expedite these proceedings, I completed them beforehand in the lobby.
How very thoughtful of you. By the way, what brings you back to this country?
Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth himself called on me to handle this case. Besides, I have a debt to repay. And though my opponent is yet a callow thing, I have no qualms with sending her down to hell.
You have a score to settle. It's with Apollo, not me. But more importantly, I am not a callow thing. I'm a qualified and capable attorney.
Then what is that yellow attire, if not proof of your immaturity, you small spring chick? Now, cease your shrill chirping.
Now, Prosecutor Sadmati. She is still only a teenager. Please, go easy on her.
Great. Now even the judges give me the kid treatment.
Very well. Shall we begin, Your Honor?
Yes, I suppose we should. Now then, Prosecutor Sadmati, please give your opening statement.
I'll show them what I can do. They'll be sorry they underestimated me.
– 'Certainly. – 'Let the last rites of the victim commence. – 'Certainly. – 'Let the last rites of the victim commence. – 'Certainly. – 'Let the last rites of the victim commence. – 'Certainly. – 'Let the last rites of the victim commence. – 'Certainly. – 'Let the last rites of the victim commence. – 'Certainly. – 'Let the last rites of the victim commence. – 'Certainly. – 'Let the last rites of the victim commence. – 'Certainly. – 'Let the last rites of the victim commence. – 'Certainly. – 'Let the last rites of the victim commence. – 'Certainly. – 'Let the last rites of the victim commence. – 'Certainly. – 'Let the last rites of the victim commence. – 'Certainly. – 'Let the last rites of the victim commence. – 'Certainly. – 'Let the last rites of the victim commence. – 'Certainly. – 'Let the last rites of the victim commence. – 'Certainly. – 'Let the last rites of the victim commence. – ' The incident is believed to have occurred at around 4 p.m. yesterday, May 12th, at a Storyteller's theater called Kurukurute. The victim was a great master of the tornado school of Rakugo, or comedic storytelling, thus his ridiculous appearance. His name was Taifu Tornado. The scene of the murder was the theater's dressing room.
Huh, it's a big yard.
It is accessible via the staff entrance hallway and has an inner and outer sliding door.
Okay, we're gonna need to study that pretty thoroughly pretty soon. It's interesting going into this with a blank court record, considering, oh man.
The estimated time of death is between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. The cause of death is suffocation, though how the victim suffocated is yet to be determined.
Did somebody just, like, shove him down into a bowl of noodles and just hold him there? That's grim.
The autopsy found nothing unusual in his lungs or stomach, and there is no murder weapon.
Is a dog going to testify? I hope so.
I will now submit the incident report to the court.
Alright, autopsy report, picture of the crime scene. We got the basics. Not a lot to go on so far.
Prosecutor Samity, how can you name Mr. Wet as the culprit when you don't know how the victim was killed or even with what?
While it is true that the weapon and precise method are as yet unknown, the accused is the only one who had the opportunity to commit the murder. I will explain this assertion in further detail as we continue.
Ugh, I guess this means he has some kind of evidence to present.
Now, would the accused care to plead his case?
Oh god. Is he on the floor?
Come to think of it, where is the defendant, Miss Sykes?
Sorry, Your Honor. But I'm afraid Mr. Wet isn't feeling very well and is resting in the infirmary.
Surely it is the lack of a clear conscience that impedes him from facing this court.
Great. Starting off on the wrong foot already.
Mr. Wet is the head chef of the Soba shop frequented by the victim. On the day of the incident, Mr. Wet went to the theater at the victim's request. Taifu Tornado was a connoisseur of soba, as you can see in these photographs.
I mean, I guess he was eating it. At least once. I don't know if that makes you a connoisseur.
He was apparently making soba himself in his dressing room that very day. The soba found at the scene is likely the soba he himself made there.
Okay.
Liking soba is one thing, but making it in the theater dressing room is a bit much, non?
Master Tornado truly had a passion for soba, didn't he? For a man like that to be murdered by a soba chef is simply unthinkable.
Killing your best customer? It's not good business.
And yet, the accused had ample motive. From the victim's safe, we discovered the deed to the accused's shop. Mr. Wet was to inherit Wet Soba when he lost his father recently. However, it's believed the victim stole the shop's deed during the transfer process. The prosecution believes the accused killed the victim in order to get the deed back.
Deed for the shop. Okay.
A murder of the deed to a shop. That does sound like a plausible motive.
So that's what this case is about. I wish Simon had filled me in a little better. I could have contributed more than just 1,000 buckets of cold sweat if he had.
Defense. From your demeanor, I gather you know very little about the details of this case.
Well, you see...
You are dishonoring the soul of the victim by appearing in the courtroom unprepared. You are an embarrassment to your profession, you putrid egg yolk.
Come on! I'm sorry. Apollo's a red pepper and now I'm an egg yolk? What a delicious pairing we'd make. We've only just started and I've already been demoted from spring chick.
I am ready to call my witness, Your Honor. Let us listen to the words of one who was present when the crime was discovered.
Someone who was there when the victim's body was found?
Very well. Witness, please take the stand.
Boots. And, oh no!
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Simon Blackwell, prosecutor.
Prosecutor Blackwell? You didn't tell me you were going to take the stand.
There simply wasn't time.
What a shame, Prosecutor Blackwell. Had you shared the damning scenes you witnessed beforehand with the defense, we could have moved this trial along and saved the victim's soul that much faster.
Damning scene? What in the world did Simon see?
Prosecutor Sodmedy, was it? Before I give my testimony, there's something I'd like to confirm.
By all means.
This case involves rakugo, a very traditional form of Japanese comedic storytelling. Do you have enough knowledge of this art form to handle the case competently? Need I Japan-splain it to you?
Are you implying that I am not qualified for this case?
Not yet. I am simply trying to ascertain your familiarity with the topic. For now.
It is a prosecutor's duty to learn the background of any case he takes on. I did some research on rakugo last night and have grasped the overall idea of it.
How much could you possibly grasp in a single night?
Rakugo is a form of entertaining storytelling that originated in the land of Japan, in which the storyteller sits alone on the stage with only a fan and a towel and the Rakugo artist tells long, whimsical stories, giving each character a distinct voice. This traditional art was originally invented by monks to make sermons more interesting.
Comedic storytelling by a single person by themselves, giving each character a unique voice? That sounds stupid! This art form is dumb! Why would anybody like that sort of thing?
Are you satisfied? If not, I could explain the 12 types of endings to such stories. Or shall I perform the famous story of Jugemu instead?
It appears you have put in a bit of study.
Your acknowledgement is most welcome, Prosecutor Blackwell.
I can see why you are known for being quite thorough in your research, Prosecutor. Now, I would love to see you perform that story you mentioned, if you don't mind.
If that is your Honor's request. Jugemu.
Your Honor, could we please get back to the trial?
Oh, right. Of course. I nearly forgot.
Seriously? Of all the things for you to forget?
Now then, back to the case. Prosecutor Blackwell, please tell this court what you witnessed.
Okay, well, Blackwell. I guess we're going head to head. Kinda. I went to the theater yesterday and arrived at approximately 4 p.m. I went straight to Master Tornado's dressing room to say hello. Bucky went into the dressing room thereafter, only to come storming out a while later. Master Tornado's junior disciple, Uendo, apparently then entered the room soon after. That's when Uendo discovered Master Tornado's body.
Now wait a minute here, Prosecutor Blackwell. With testimony like that, you're practically accusing Mr. Wood of the crime.
All I can do is state what I saw. I can't help how it appears. But a qualified and capable attorney such as you should be able to dispatch with it, right?
Well, yeah, duh. Alright, I guess I better start by getting all the info out of him that I can. We do that by always pressing. Piss you right in your Cruella de Vil face.
I went to the theater yesterday and arrived at approximately 4 p.m.
Prosecutor Blackwell, what did you go to the theater for in the first place?
I went because I had received an invitation from Master Tornado. Here, see for yourself. Oh, thanks to the court record, it was a special show commemorating his junior disciple's Uwindo's promotion. It was also an occasion to announce the boy's succession to the stage name of Uwindo II.
So what exactly does it mean to succeed to a stage name?
You really don't know, do you? In the performing arts, a name succession is when an artist inherits a predecessor's name, like a mysterious.
I see. So there was another Uwindo Rakugo artist before, and his disciple succeeded him. Huh. And what exactly did your invitation say?
It contained a simple letter of salutations and an outline of the show's program.
Oh, it appears Typhoon Tornado was going to perform Toki Soba, or Time Soba. He's famous for his masterful pantomime of eating soba, using only his fan as a prop.
Oh, so he was just pretending to kind of... Yep, very famous for being able to just go... What a talent.
And Uwindo was to perform Soba Say or Soba Glutton, a soba-themed show I see. They were just going to humorously pretend to eat food for an hour.
It seems you know a thing or two about Rakugo yourself, your baldness. The first to perform was the senior disciple, Geiru, followed by Uwindo, and lastly, Master Tornado. Alright, so the invitation is important in some way?
I see, so that's why you happened to be at the Storyteller's theater yesterday. So what happened after you arrived?
That was an important press. I went straight to Master Tornado's dressing room to say hello.
And how did Master Tornado appear when you said hello to him?
I went with the intention of greeting him, but ultimately, we didn't actually meet.
You didn't see him? Why not?
Geiru escorted me to the dressing room, but we heard the sound of Rakugo being performed from within. Thinking the master was rehearsing, we decided to wait in the hall until he was done.
You heard Rakugo being performed in the dressing room?
Yes, not just me, but Geiru as well.
In other words, you can confirm that the victim was still alive at around 4 p.m.
Correct. I couldn't hear him clearly through the doors, but I'm sure it was Master Tornado. I could tell because it was the Time Soba routine being performed in there.
So that means the victim was killed sometime after that.
Bucky went into the dressing room thereafter, only to come storming out a while later. Only to storm out a while later, okay?
Please tell us in detail how Mr. Wet appeared at the time.
He had crazy weird eyebrows. Geiru and I were waiting in the hallway for Master Tornado to finish practicing, when Bucky appeared and entered the dressing room with his things.
What happened after that?
We heard what sounded like Bucky shouting inside the room. About 10 minutes later, Bucky came back out of the dressing room, looking rather irate.
This is most likely when the murder was committed. The victim was an elderly man. It would have been entirely possible to kill him within the span of 10 minutes.
I better come up with some kind of counter-argument, and fast!
Master Tornado's junior disciple, Uwindo, apparently then entered the room soon after.
What do you mean by apparently? Didn't you see him go in?
No, I couldn't. I wasn't able to see the dressing room door from where I was standing at the time. But Gayru was right in front of it, so I'm sure she saw it all.
I see. And why do you suppose Yuindo went to the dressing room anyway?
He had just finished his routine, so he was making a courtesy call. A disciple is to pay their master respect right before and after each performance.
And all disciples are expected to do this?
Yes, it's common courtesy among Rakugo artists.
I see. Could you tell us what happened after Yuindo went into the dressing room?
Certainly. That's when Yuindo discovered Master Tornado's body. I'm not seeing much we can throw stuff at yet. Maybe this is literally just giving us the details of the case, and we're not looking for an inconsistency yet?
How did Yuindo act at the time?
After Yuindo had been in the dressing room for 2 or 3 minutes, we heard a scream from inside the room, and Yuindo came flying out.
Did you hear any signs of a struggle at that time?
No, just Yuindo's woeful scream.
I see.
Well done, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your testimony has given us quite a glimpse into the sequence of events.
Thank you, Prosecutor Blackwell. And now, please allow me to summarize your testimony.
This is where I don't know about summarizing it. Okay.
While Prosecutor Blackwell and Gayru were in the hallway waiting for Master Tornado, the accused came along and entered the dressing room with some items in tow.
Hey, gotta deliver the noodles!
He was heard shouting for a time inside the dressing room because he's a crazy weirdo. And about 10 minutes later, he came back out of the room, seeming rather angry. A short time after the accused had come and gone, Yuindo Tornado went into the room. A few minutes later, after having discovered the victim's body, Yuindo gave a scream and came running out into the hallway from within. Prosecutor Blackwell and Gayru then ran into the room and saw the body for themselves.
Looks bad.
From the circumstances, it is quite clear that the accused murdered the victim.
This is crucial testimony indeed.
Okay, alright. We got a testimony to present against other testimony.
Defense. An eyewitness has given conclusive testimony. Why not let it all go now and allow the victim his last rites?
Not on your life! If Yuindo went into the dressing room too and was the first to discover the body, then who's to say he didn't commit the crime?
Yuindo was in the dressing room for a mere 2, perhaps 3 minutes. He could not have possibly committed murder in that time, nor without making any noise.
Oh, Simon, why did you have to give that awful testimony? Prosecutor Blackwell, can't you give me something a little better to work with here?
Isn't it up to you to ask the right questions? I am certainly willing to tell you all that I know. So if you truly are as capable as you claim, then draw out what you need yourself.
This is no time for twisted games, Prosecutor Blackwell. Just admit you don't remember it all that well.
That's one. Where is Athena gonna get hit with beads when that happens? It's too soon, it's too soon.
Prosecutor Blackwell, watching you collude with the defense like this, I see that you are no prosecutor. Begone, witness. You shall haunt this sacred hall no more.
Oh, you do not want to make an enemy of Blackwell. How dare you treat me like some evil spirit to be exorcised? I'll remember this, you blackguard.
Don't worry, Prosecutor Blackwell. I've got this.
Would I have my way, He would not be the only one here to step down. You half-boiled, putrid egg yolk.
I object to the notion that I'm a gooey, smelly mess. I've showered. I'm largely tangible.
Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony was like the lowly opening act of a Rakugo show. He may hold the title of prosecutor, but this time he stood on the side of the defense. To restore balance to this trial, I would like to present an actual witness for the prosecution.
And who is this witness?
The person who was with Prosecutor Blackwell when the body was discovered. She is another entertainer of the Tornado School, Miss Gayru Tornado.